Hi, this is Jackie, and you're listening to Home Bodies Only, where we welcome all bodies to join us as we break down and dissect HBO series. And this is a special bonus episode. This is our first bonus episode, as well as our first interview. Diana will not be able to join us today. She is away on a cruise. But I have a special guest. Her name is Erica Pearce, and she was a core makeup artist on Pretty Little Liars' Original Sin. So welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
So happy you could join me today.
Me too.
To talk about you, as well as Pretty Little Liars, Original Sin, and I don't know, and maybe some HBO Max stuff. I wanted to ask you first, how did you get into doing makeup?
Well, I had moved to Los Angeles like when I was like 19, and had always wanted to live there. And I got there and didn't really know what to do, and thought that hey, let me try the film business. It was LA, and so I started out as a production assistant, and actually was grooming to be work as an assistant director, which is basically they organize a shoot and schedule all the crew and just basically the organizational kind of department. And I was good at it, liked it, but then kind of burnt out, and knew I wanted to do film, but just in another capacity. I wasn't, I always liked makeup, but I had a friend who happened to be a professional film makeup artist. And so I asked her what it was about, what to do. And so she said, just go to school. And so I went to makeup designer MUD, and when it's like second year in Los Angeles. And long story short, it was good. I was good at it, liked it. And, 25 years later, I'm working on Pretty Little Liars. So they work out.
Wow. Cool. Yeah. Okay. I was going to ask, do you have to wear makeup every day, or are you more like, no, I'm sick of it because of your job? Or how do you feel about makeup on you?
Well, there's like two different types of makeup artists. There's the ones that are like, really do it up and really, are put together and do a whole thing. And then there's some that wear absolutely none. And I'm somewhere like in the middle. Like I like to keep it natural. Okay. But there's certain things like I always have to have mascara and my brows. As I got older, it's the brows have become much more of, it's like I don't leave the house without mascara and brows, and everything else I'm fine, But but I try to keep it light, but definitely have to have makeup on unless I'm exhausted. And then I'll find a chance to put it on real quick when I can.
Yeah. Right now I don't have actually any makeup on, but usually, it's eyebrows and mascara. Definitely feel so naked without it.
Well, I have blonde lashes, so I completely, I don't. And I have nice lashes, so they just need a mascara. So can't leave them without it.
Do you have like a lot of makeup? I mean, it does sound like you wear a ton, but like, do you have like a lot of different kinds, or you just?
Yes. I have
yes. Okay.
Yes. I mean, I have a professional kit, which is enormous. And then my own personal, because I don't mix the two. I will actually refer to it as stealing from my kit if I use anything for my kit for myself. I actually look at it as like totally separate. But my main thing for myself is skincare. That's what I probably have the most of for myself. And then a lot of makeup, of course. But mostly because it's all, and I keep trying to buy new products, but it always ends up having the same look. I really don't, maybe a little different here and there and trying new things, but it's always just go back to the same thing. So,
This is a little random, but it's on the makeup topic. Bethany Frankel, you know Bethany Frankel? Okay. So she recently, like, I don't know, in the past few months maybe or so, she decided to just start doing TikTok videos about comparing like expensive makeup and cheap makeup. Have you seen any of those or no? Just totally.
No, but I would be curious to see. I mean, I know, a lot of it is about packaging but the luxury brands are, you know, they are
Some of
good,
them just,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. So anyway, I just was
but
throwing that in there for my
But
personal.
I will check that out because I would be interested. I have, the age old question for me is like mascara, and I'm always like drugstore mascara is just as good. Spending $30 on
Okay.
mascara always felt like, a waste to me
Yeah.
because it's really,
Yeah.
it's about application. It's, you can get just as
Right.
good. Yeah.
Right.
L'Oreal is
Oh, good
great.
to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Well, I was just curious about that. Yeah. It's funny because she's like, I can't believe this happened. Like she's blown up as like this beauty influencer.
That is
like
interesting.
younger
Yeah. Of
people
all
who
the
did,
people. Yeah.
yeah, and younger people who really didn't totally follow her on Real Housewives or whatever now like know her with the makeup. It's very, very
That's
funny. I listen to her
hilarious. Yeah.
podcast too. I'm a big fan of Bethany's. Okay. Next question. Do you mostly work for HBO? And also how did you get how did you start working for, I guess, HBO?
Well, I'm a freelance makeup artist,
Okay.
and I I was able to get and join and be accepted into the IATSE union, uh, which
Oh,
my local for makeup and hair, which basically essentially anything above, I don't know, like these days 500 grand budget of anything is union.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
uh, and Wow, I'd have to look it up. I never remember what IATSE stands for, which is terrible. As a member, internet. I'm gonna look it up right now. They should say
IATSE.
it right.
Okay. That's a
IATSE.
lot of
What does IATSE?
letters.
I know it's really kind of embarrassing that I don't know what it stands for.
That's okay. I forget things.
Stands. International Alliance of Theatrical and Stage Employees and Motion Picture
Oh,
Technicians Artists. So it's
wow.
basically the, you know, the union for the entire IATSE
Yeah.
is the union, and then we have locals based on where you are and
Okay.
what department you're in. And so anyway, so that once I got into the union, that opened up doors as far as, so I work for anybody who, who
Okay.
hires me, but that opened up doors to be able to work on the bigger things. And then the boom in film and HBO coming up to the Hudson Valley, because I really don't go into the city. I
Yeah.
mainly work in the Hudson Valley. That together, I was started to become hired for HBO. So I've been doing a lot of stuff for HBO. I've also done stuff for Netflix. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think Hulu. No, not Hulu. But yeah, so I've done, for different streaming services, but
Yeah. Okay.
I'm freelance.
Okay.
So
Okay. Now I understand. All right. So what are some other, I guess, shows that you've worked on, either Netflix or HBO, even movies, whatever have you done?
yeah, I did, which is going to be great. Can't wait for it to come out. White House Plumbers. I
Mm-hmm.
worked with the background, and that was fun. A background meaning extras.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had to look 70s. So,
Oh,
so we had to do sideburns. That's part of a makeup artist. We do from
okay.
the sideburns down or around, in the face.
Okay.
That's like what
Yep.
we're,
Okay.
so we did fake sideburns, beards, mustaches, and really fun. It was a fun period for makeup even. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was a lot of fun. That, and then I worked
Mm.
on the Gilded Age, also doing background, and that was like
Oh.
we were instructed to make women look almost like a painting. So it was like
Ooh,
it was very, very creative and outside the box look.
cool.
Not messy, just almost like a painting where, things weren't perfect and things were
Right.
it was, so that was fun. And it was, Gilded Age takes place near the turn of the century. So that was,
Right.
that was fun. And
Yeah.
also facial hair. And then I worked on Things Heard and Seen. That was a Netflix horror. That was a film.
Oh,
Now I'm trying to go through
okay.
my, and I was really lucky to do for Netflix, albeit just one day, but it was still so cool. And it was their first day of shooting, Bradley Cooper's upcoming project.
Ooh.
Maestro, which is it's a biopic about oh my goodness, no, it's right at the tip of my tongue. A composer, very famous composer, Leonard Bernstein.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And basically, and he's directing and playing Leonard, and
Mm.
it was later on, so he had all these prosthetics on, and he's directing, and it was a full orchestra. So it's like some of the
Wow.
days in the Berkshires. So it was like this
Okay, that's so
beautiful.
much to know
Here I
where it
was.
was.
What it's like you're
Okay.
not even like working. It's
Right.
like it's sometimes you just feel like you're like I'm just listening to an orchestra. It was
That's
fun. So that
awesome.
was neat. So those are
Did you
just
get
some of them
to,
that I can think.
yeah, did you get to like meet him? Did you work on his
I
prosthetics or like
interacted with him. I did no. I was also dealing with the background,
the
and they
background?
were all
Okay.
supposed to be sweaty. The orchestra, so we were actually adding sweat to the
Oh,
orchestra.
wow.
And since he was
So interesting.
directing, yeah, he was telling
Yeah.
me who to add the sweat to because I happened to be the one in sort of in charge of that time. So that was my little interaction with Bradley
Was
Cooper.
he
But it
nice?
was very very nice. He's
Very
a
nice.
very grateful for everybody. Made a big
Oh,
announcement to everybody. Thank you, and you don't get that a
yeah,
lot.
that's good.
A lot of times
Good.
it's like you just, all right, done, wrap, and everybody walks away
Yeah.
and there's no thank yous. And sometimes
Mm,
there's just a gratitude. He seems like a
yeah.
very
Oh,
grateful
well, that's good.
guy.
Great.
Yeah.
That doesn't burst my crush bubble.
No, he seems like
He's so
I think
cute.
he's a really nice guy. Yeah, he is.
Aw, that's cute. That's good. Um, what does I guess maybe describe a typical, so actually for Pretty Little Liars, was that 5 days a week or was it like what was your work schedule
Yeah.
like during
Our
that?
work schedule was 5-day weeks. We worked Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time we were on stage. And then basically it's, most of the interiors, not all, but most that you see interior shots, indoor shots are usually on a stage. So this whole stage was built out of all these sets, and then we would
Oh,
shoot the
wow.
exteriors outside somewhere else.
Right.
And
Right.
but anyway, so most of the time we were on stage, but we did go out on the road for the high school, some
Okay.
of the high school stuff, and
Right.
like I said, some of the exteriors. So we would, and when you're on the road, that's trailers and the whole thing. It was a pretty
Yes.
big
Which we saw
operation.
all over Sorgaties.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
them all.
and
I know there's others.
yeah, but no, we took over Socrates. I don't know, but that was fun at the theater, being right there.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, so and then I don't know if you have another question. I could go into the hours were.
Yeah. What were the hours? Yeah.
Well, because we have to get the actors ready, makeup and hair is always what they call pre-called. So the rest of the crew
Right.
has to get there at a certain time. But because we have so many people to get ready, um, we always come in about 3 hours usually before crew.
Before they. Okay.
So to get everybody ready. And
Yeah.
so that would add to the day because then it would be a normal day on top of that. So which
Wow.
would be, they tried to keep it to 12, but that never really worked out. So I think I definitely did it 18 or
Wow.
16 to 18-hour days. And there were some very, very long days.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you told me this, but I want to ask you for the show. Who did you do makeup for?
Oh, right. I did makeup for Mouse,
Mm-hmm.
Noah,
Yeah.
and the twins, Karen and Kelly.
Okay.
And then
All right.
on top of that, a lot of the moms, Noah's mom, I did,
Mm-hmm.
Mouse's moms. We would swap sometimes, but for
Mm-hmm.
the most part, I
Okay.
did Noah's mom and Mouse's moms, and
Okay.
other characters as well. Like the football
Okay.
players I would do and stuff like that. But the main
Mm-hmm.
of the girls,
Yeah.
it was the twins and Mouse and Noah.
And did you do that for every scene they were in? It was you? Or did you said, well,
Yes.
you said you swapped with it. Okay. Okay. Cool.
When it came to them, we were assigned them. And so we,
Okay.
stayed with them.
There's something you said about I had some questions about, so you were on a stage. Was that in the Upriver Studios?
Mm-hmm.
When you said you were in a stage? Okay.
Yes. All right. That was the stage that we shot at.
So all of the interiors were from the stage, or
I would say a majority.
Wow,
I mean, we did do some interiors at other places, but I think all the girls' rooms and houses were on stage. And
where was the inside?
The movie theater. The inside of the movie theater was on stage.
Yeah, it was funny because my husband and I was like, gosh, it looks like, I was like, it looks like it, but it's too big, and so my husband's like, it's too big.
Huge.
He's like, it's way too big. It's not that big. But it does have that look, that dark look, and all that.
They're phenomenal. The people that built the sets.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's funny.
Amazing.
In the Facebook group, they're all like, everything is so dilapidated. It looks, I'm like, well, some of it, is real, but some of it is on the set. What was my other question? Oh, the inside the school, like when they're in the lockers and stuff. Not the gym necessarily, but where was that with the locker? Like if they were in the hallway.
The lockers was both in the school that we were shooting at.
Sororities
in Claverack. No. Well, we did actually the spirit dance in the beginning.
Yes, that was at Sororities, right?
That was in Sororities. But anything else inside a school would have been either they did actually build a lot of the school in the stage on the stage, but the cafeteria was at Claverack. That was at Claverack High School. Which is like it was a abandoned high school that we shot in throughout the whole thing, which was basically August through May. Yeah, it was. And I had no idea that we actually did all, the red and I thought that we were matching the existing school when at our sets, but actually no, we meaning the brilliant set dressers and painters, and they made that school. So it was the sets were, I thought, great, but so Claverack, we did shoot there, which was
I've never heard of that.
No cell service.
Oh yeah,
it's not far from Hudson.
Okay.
So we had no cell service, or very little, which was very difficult. They had no heating, plumbing in the building. We bring trailers and everything, bathrooms and stuff, but it was cold.
Oh
it was, and during that ice storm, we were at Claverack. And we had to shut down, and then the next day couldn't work because of all the
my gosh,
ice. The ice was like covering. It was.
Wow.
And we were in Claverack, which was crazy.
So,
but no one really liked Claverack. No, they tried to get us out of there in time before the storm got worse. So we basically beat the storm, but that was one of the many adventures and Pretty Little Liars.
Wow. So the outside of the school is this abandoned school in Claverack.
No.
Like when they show the outside shots. Okay, where is that? Because it's been driving me nuts.
It's somewhere. Some of it is. Some of it is, and some of it's in Hudson.
Oh, it's
like
Hudson.
When they first. I think the only time we ever really see the front of the school, if I'm right, is in the first episode when Tabby and I think that's really when we see them and they see Spirit Week or whatever it is, and that's actually Hudson.
That's Hudson.
Hudson School. It's just the exterior, just there, and then any like football, outside football, or any of the track or whatever, that was Claverack. And there was some, and the dance hall was the dance studio was in Claverack.
All right,
and
that's
the cafeteria.
Another question.
So it's a mix and match.
Okay, cool.
The school is kind of a few different locations.
Good to know. Because I was like, I knew that they had done, I thought they had done the dance at Sorgady's High School. Because actually my co-host had signed up to be an extra, but she never did it. And she knew, like, because we were back at work. It was around October, I thought, if I can remember right. We were still wearing masks. There was the whole, like,
it was September
there. Okay, September.
Yeah, it was August or yeah.
Well, I know
it might have even been the end of August. It was our first week of shooting. We did.
Okay, because we must have just started because we work at a school. We work at Woodstock Elementary, and she was like, she just for fun like submitted a headshot. I mean, probably from years ago, and they were like, yeah. And it was at Sorgady's High School in the gym. They said, you're going to be with 200 people. You're going to have to do a COVID test, this whole thing. And she would have had to take off work. And we just started back at work. So she's like, I'm not going to do it. That's when COVID was a little more prominent too.
It's a
so
commitment.
She didn't end up doing
you
it.
have to take
Yeah.
When you get hired, you have to actually just plan a day for a COVID test because
I'm sure.
So it's not just one day. It's like all these.
Right. So
COVID
she didn't end up doing it.
Yeah.
And so I knew they had done some filming at the Sorgady's High School where I went. The shots when they're like in almost like a courtyard outside the school, was that Claverack again? That school?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was like showing it again to my husband because he also went to Sorgady's. I was like, is that I don't know. It doesn't totally look like this. Also, I haven't been back on my high school's campus in a long time. So, all right. Good to know.
I will tell you that place was so confusing and scary. We were shooting at night and I I remember because my stepson, Jack, went there. And I remember texting, he went to Saugerties High School. And I was like, this place is terrifying and
it was confusing.
Creepy. It was creepy. It was probably what we were shooting to, but I mean, it was creepy. It was.
Oh, wow.
If you ended up in a hallway, well, because we had equipment everywhere, and it was. But it just got confused. It was funny, and it was just I felt like I could easily get lost in that high school.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Thank you though, because I kept getting stuck on that. I was like, where is this? It was driving me nuts. Now that's good.
I can imagine. You're right. Yeah.
So when I just said it because the lighting, in this show is a little bit darker. And so as a makeup artist, I mean, obviously they must tell you, but do you have to have different types of, I guess, shading? I'm not really sure. I don't know a lot about makeup. Like if it's going to be a darker scene, in a darker show, you have to do the makeup differently, or that doesn't really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. In this show and what on typically on other shows, they do what's called a makeup test, which we did on this one, where they basically, we do their makeup. They come out in wardrobe and makeup, full makeup and hair, and get, this was kind of the first I'd ever seen of this. It was also kind of to get the girls excited. So there was music and they were almost like modeling off and almost doing like a promo kind of thing too. But that helped adjust. And a lot of times you get them ready and then adjust when you see them, because we get monitors. So we get to see what they look like in the lighting. Because, you don't always get told. You start to learn how they're going to be, but you never really fully know. And you're not told ahead of time. So you kind of have to be ready to adjust. And it's like, in certain sort of like a blue kind of lighting, certain colors will pop more that you don't want or you do want. So you just sort of, you just got to see what the monitor's showing you.
Yeah.
And the monitor will tell you if that lipstick isn't reading, or if there's blood in a cut that's not reading, then you have to go in. And so you're kind of always prepared to quickly change it up.
And does somebody else say, hey, makeup, or do you say, wait, like who?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. Either one.
Well, how it'll happen, how it works out is that you get them ready in the morning and then they get dressed, and then however long it takes them to get ready on set, they bring them to set. Obviously they've been sitting around sometimes, so we have to redo their makeup or, check.
Yeah.
So what we will get are what's called last looks. And that's what they'll call out, last looks. And that is for basically hair, makeup, and wardrobe to go in and make sure that they don't need anything, because you've seen a rehearsal,
Mm-hmm.
so you've seen what they look like, and anything you need to do. Are they shiny? Is their lip
Right.
color? Do they need more lip? Do they need that? And so you go in and you do your final touches / last look. So the last thing before they roll the camera is us making sure they look good.
Okay.
It's very important. It's like the most important part of
I'm sure.
you get them ready hours before, and you don't know what will happen. They could fall asleep or cry or something. And
Wow.
So that's how that works. So that's the chance that you get when you get a rehearsal to see if there's any tweaks, more cheek, less cheek, that kind of thing.
Okay, cool. What was I gonna? Okay. Oh, I had some more questions about the location. The inside of the pizza place, that is a set that was on a stage, or was that a restaurant? Okay.
Yeah, on stage.
Because my co-host and I kept going back and forth. We're like, that could be a restaurant in Catskill because it kind of looked like it could be on the inside, but wasn't sure. I know the outside is Sorgady's, and I believe it's Main Street restaurant, and they just like changed the sign.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Around there, yeah. The outside of the police station, is that Catskill or no? They do the shots of outside
the police station.
It's on a corner.
It wasn't always at every location. Sometimes I would be wrapped early.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the outside of the police station. I feel like I wasn't there for that, and I think you might be right though. It might be Catskill.
It almost looks like the post, like when you drive through Catskill, where the post office is, it almost looks like the post office. But again, I don't have that perfectly in my brain, so I don't know. Okay. What's the other one? Okay, so
I'm blanking, but we shot a lot in Catskill. I want to say that it's Catskill.
Okay. The outside, like the houses, were they all in Catskill? Like when they'd show an outside of a house, they were all Catskill. Okay. Yeah, because I was showing it to my husband. I'm like, I don't think that's Sorgady's. I mean, it could be kind of, but I was like, I don't think so. So, okay.
No, all of the girls' houses, that was Catskill.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got that. Oh, this might be a silly question, but the food do you have to bring your own food? Do they supply food to you guys? I'm just curious.
No, we have a caterer. We have a caterer. We have we had a great craft service.
What I thought.
Which is basically snacks and stuff like that. Yeah, no, they keep us
good. What was my other question? Oh, what was the most fun to do and makeup for? Like maybe was there an episode that was really fun to do the makeup for?
If it hadn't taken so long, we kept having to go back to Halloween. Mm-hmm. Halloween was fun, but we had to do it so many times that it started to not be fun. But that was actually a lot of fun with all the, with the background and then the things I had to do. I had to make Kelly Annabelle.
Oh, yeah.
The doll, the scary doll, Annabelle. So, but not it be too, have her recognizable yet.
Right.
So that was kind of a challenge and kind of a fun one. Also, I loved the spirit dance. That's one of my favorite looks of any makeup I've ever done. Was just didn't see it that well with the lighting, but you did get pops of it, and I did post it. But it was Mouse. I just did like a blue on her lids, like an thick monochromatic like liner of this sort of turquoise blue with a little hint of shimmer, and it was like just so pretty on her with her eyes, and it was just cool. And some of the looks I got to do with Mouse, she was the one that I got to get great. And there's a later episode that I do some fun stuff with both her and Noah.
Okay. I know I was looking
not sure which episodes. I'm afraid to say. But there's some stuff upcoming.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember. I think this one's pretty late on.
Okay. Noah, I noticed.
I'm remembering, but
I don't know. One of the last episodes I watched, her eyeliner looked awesome. Like it was just black liquid. It came out like a little more of a cat look to her.
She did her own eyeliner.
She did? Oh, that's so funny.
Oh yeah, she's so I will not take credit for that. She's
That's so funny.
that's like her signature. She knows how to do it, and wanted to do it, and she just does an
That's so
incredible
funny.
job. And then you just give her the mascara and let her go. So that was, but I did the skin, the
Yep. Yep.
cheeks,
Yeah.
the shadow, basically
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also did her lips, but you do get a lot of actresses that
They
like
want
to
to
do
do
it
their own.
themselves,
It's so
certain things.
funny. That's
Not the
funny.
whole thing, but
Yeah.
just certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
Mouse, I
like,
did everything,
mm-hmm,
and Kelly and Karen, I
mm-hmm,
did everything.
mm-hmm. What was I going to say about, oh, and then the makeup itself, like you were saying, you have your own kit. Do you bring that to sets, or do they supply, like, do they supply the makeup, or
A little bit
because
of both.
a little bit
I
of both?
mean,
Okay.
but we also get paid for our kit, so we get what's called a
Right.
kit fee. So
Oh, okay.
we bring our makeup. So most of the makeup I used was mine. We
Okay.
also were lucky to have some supporters, Mac, and Tower Beauty, and a few others, which I need to actually do a post about, did actually support us, and
Oh,
they gave us. I know Anastasia,
that's awesome.
Beverly Hills, and there's several companies that gave us
Oh,
some
that's cool.
products, Kosas, and so yeah, so it was kind of a mixture of those products, and then things that were bought within the budget,
Mm-hmm.
and then but I mainly used my
Wow.
makeup
Okay.
because it's the makeup I know and the colors I
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah. I just wasn't sure because I didn't know
yeah,
if like they want all the actresses using the same makeup, not necessarily. I mean, obviously everybody has a different skin tone, so needs the different color, I would think foundation or whatever, but I didn't know if they wanted all the same makeup. I didn't know. So that's interesting. And I know, what did I wanted to tell you? Oh, we were talking before we started recording, and tell the listeners about knowing the story that you.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
this was particularly fun, and in that we and the cast, that meaning the crew, basically the only people that knew what was going to happen in the next few episodes. We were given one script at a time.
Yeah.
So the story was unfolding for both the cast and the crew, and pretty much everybody except for the higher ups.
Yeah.
What the end was going to be and what was going to happen. So every time a new script came out, right before we were about to shoot it, everybody was very excited because we were all trying to figure out what the story. So as we were making it, is as if we were watching it
That's so cool.
ourselves. So it's like, so we really didn't, we were all guessing, making guesses. Some people were right about certain things, and, so it was interesting to all of us, trying to figure it out. Like I said, including the cast. None of
Wow.
us knew.
Wow, that's really cool. And I would think that too,
So that was kind of fun.
that makes better, in a way, better, more realistic acting. Like if the cast is just finding out. So I just thought about this. So the cast would get their scripts. Like, how long do they have to actually try to memorize it? Like, how far in advance?
Not very long.
Wow. Okay.
They would probably just a couple of weeks before
the actual.
But the episodes were shot, pretty fast. So, but they were very good about it. With their lines, they were all really professional about it.
How many?
So, so they knew their lines.
How many? I didn't think about this either. How many days or weeks was it per episode to film, or did it depend?
Well, we did. Sometimes we would shoot 2 episodes at the same time, so that took a little bit longer. But in general, I would say it was about roughly maybe 10, 11 days per episode.
Okay. I'm definitely thinking of things I hadn't thought of before. That's really interesting.
Maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks. They're not long.
Yeah, that seems quick. Did the cast, I assumed, like, were they staying in this area, or would they like?
Yeah.
So okay, they stayed here. Did they go out and stuff?
So they.
I'm just curious. I don't know if they had time because
Yeah.
I think I do feel.
No, they did because they
going out and stuff.
They would go out and about all the time, and then they're not bad. I mean, they weren't far from the city, so they could go back to the city.
Yeah,
a couple of them actually lived in the city, but yeah, they stayed up here. And yeah, the ones from LA, that was when it got cold.
Oh gosh. The abandoned train station. I just thought about that. Where was that filmed? Not train station. Sorry, the abandoned train. Or not. I don't know if they're abandoned. I guess they were abandoned. Right?
Catskill.
That was Catskill. Okay.
Catskill. That was Lumberyard.
Okay.
Oh no. I'm sorry. That was actually somewhere, I think, not Arkville, but along.
Oh, okay.
28, I believe. Yeah. And then we did some other stuff that was on stage for that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure when they're in the train. I bet.
Yeah.
Right. I know this is such a dopey question, but there was a scene with Imogen and Kelly, who we think is Kelly, on a swing set. And they're like, the swing set looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, kind of. And what was driving me nuts was the tall grass that are like, that was ticks. I'm like, they're on this. So stupid. Because the ticks are so bad around here that I was like, what?
I know.
All I can think about.
Well, yeah.
That's the grass. But where was, do you know where that?
I know. And we were being told that was Claverack, actually.
That was Claverack,
and that was one of those situations where they wanted to shoot something that really it could be anywhere. Okay. And so they just they made a swing set in the middle of this field, just right. Yeah. Right, not far from where the courtyard is.
Okay.
From where the courtyard was. Yeah. So it's like a little bit further over, and they just kind of put it in the middle of nowhere, and we had to quickly shoot that because the sun was coming down. Yeah. And it was and it was an intense scene too. Right. So we had to, they had to go there, and we had to be real quick. But we shot with multiple cameras, so they could do cross coverage, right? Make it faster. But yeah, I remember that being a big, big rush. I was like,
I hope they had tick.
But yeah, that was
spray on.
I know.
Stupid thing you should think about.
That's what I always. Every time I see, I'm currently working on something where I see our actress rolling around on the ground, and I'm going, please check her. It's we live here. We're all, it's terrible. That's all you think about.
I know. It's funny though, because where that, like how they had that swing set sitting there, I'm like, that could totally be around here. Like you could be just driving and be like, oh yeah, there's a random old swing set sitting there. I mean, that's how it is around here.
It's the type of thing that they probably would have thrown it anywhere that they could, because a lot of times when you're running out of you can't finish your day and you have a scene that you need, it's like, all right, we'll just put that there.
But it was but it's realistic to this area. In a way, there could be
it definitely worked. They're so good at movie magic, as they say.
Yeah. And as you just mentioned, what you're currently working on, that was like one of my last questions. Like, what are you currently working on?
I am working on a really interesting indie, low budget feature that is very hard to describe. It's a sort of supernatural / horror / suspense about a family who it focuses basically, it's from the perspective mainly of the daughter in the family as she's dealing with her father dying of cancer. So it's a quite intense movie. It's starring Ruth Wilson. Lucinda Gray is the girl. And her father is, Benjamin. Wow, this is terrible. I'm currently working with him.
It's all right.
This is what happens when you work all week in the heat. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Chaplin, okay. Benjamin Chaplin. Okay. All the two adults are British, so that's kind of fun. And Ruth, you would recognize, she was in The Affair. Mm-hmm. and His Dark Materials, amongst many other things. She's terrific. They're all terrific actors. But it's basically, not to get too involved in it, but like I said, it's supernatural. So it's sort of I think her feelings are about her father's dying are manifesting into something else. And I'll just leave it at that. But it is the director. It's sort of a biopic. It's not really, it's like his story of his dealing with, but obviously I don't, the supernatural part of it didn't happen. But it's quite interesting. And the acting is phenomenal. It's been intense. It's been very hot, but it's a really neat, and I do love working on indies because, it's you really work together. It's a smaller crew. It's more, it's intimate. It's neat. And this one's a really neat one.
Nice.
I look forward to seeing what happens to it. I hope.
And is that
good things? Cause it's what
sorry, keep going.
It's currently called Family.
Okay.
And we're filming in Rhinebeck.
Oh,
basically.
okay.
And then in a few other spots, but mainly at this house. This mainly takes place at this house.
So in a house, they're filming.
They had just moved in.
They're filming inside the house.
Yeah, we're filming in an actual, Victorian house, and the heat has been. Finally, we've had some really. It's been rough because we've been shooting since the heat wave. Basically, once we started shooting, there was a heat wave.
Oh my gosh.
They did ask creatively that I give them all a nice summer sheen. So luckily, they don't want them to look like, any other. Like luckily, it's supposed to be hot summer.
Good.
So I actually have to add things to them to make them get that sheen, believe it or not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just made me think of when you said the house and inside the house. I don't know. So going back to, oh wait. Sorry. So you said it was an indie film. I'm trying to think if I had any other questions. So that you're not sure, like where it'll end up.
Yeah, that you don't really. You find out. Usually, some it gets bought by distribution, or it gets into the festivals, which all the festivals are is just where people find products to distribute. Or find their projects. Excuse me, to be distributed. So I really do have a good feeling about this.
Cool.
You don't always say that, but this one is just very interesting.
That's cool.
It really is.
It's cool. So going to the house thing, I'm going to switch back just once more to Pretty Little Liars. I was reading an article and they were saying like, there's a lot of like hints and clues and symbolism. They said that each girl has, I don't know if you want to call it a symbol or something that like represents them that they'll either wear or you'll just see it on them like throughout the series. I don't know. And I think this was a Teen Vogue article. And even the wallpaper has significance in it. Did you know anything about that?
I actually don't, but I do know that, there are certain things, there are themes for the girls, and I know there are, makeup wise, like, when Kelly and Karen, I was doing their makeup, we had, wardrobe and I kind of had our own had to be quick because we shot in, I couldn't do a full different makeup. So I would do very subtle. Kelly got cool tones and Karen got warm tones. So there's significance everywhere, but as far as, I will say this, I don't know the significance for set dressing, but I know there is in every room.
Right.
But it was interesting. They did use my name for a very cool, and I was able to take it, postcard it was like the Trip Hop Queen, and it was Erica Pearce, Trip Hop Queen, and it was in Mouse's room. So I'm sure it's captured on film. It's not something that they obviously did a close up on. But it was discovered by me, and I was so excited because I knew the art department. So someone slipped my name in. So you'll see probably, I know the crew's name is throughout.
That's cool.
I know I did read, so this isn't, I didn't know at the time, but the pill bottle had a prescription and the name was a character from the original series.
I did know that.
So I know there's Easter eggs all over the place, but I am not, very familiar. with the old
No,
show.
I'm not
I
either.
didn't watch it. So I wouldn't really know those, but I know that everything had significance.
Yes.
We had a lot of dialogue about things, especially we worked very closely with wardrobe. We had an incredible costume
Yeah.
designer. And so yeah, it was all a group effort, but yeah, everything.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know the actual.
yeah, I never watched Pretty Little Liars. I'm reading the first book from the series. I'm about halfway through. I don't read as much as I'd like to with having a child and all this other stuff, but it's cute. It's good. I mean, it's a young adult book. It's good. I'm like flying through it. And yeah, I know it was Caleb. The name on the pill bottle was Caleb Rivers or something like that. And I guess he was in the original. Yeah, I'm on a Facebook group.
Yeah, I was working that day, and I had no idea of that significance when on the day. But yeah, that was.
I wouldn't have known either.
Yeah, so I read about it later.
Yeah, I'm on this Facebook group. I mean, people are diehard, and they are trying.
Oh, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I can invite you to it if you want. I mean, or you could, because there's more than one.
Definitely invite me.
No, invite you. I'm
fascinated with people's ideas of what's going on. I would love to see what people think.
I think they've said almost everybody is A, like almost everybody. One of the girls is A. Some people think there are two A's, working together. The one that's in the mask, and then somebody who's texting. I'll have to be honest. I love the show. I think it's awesome. But every time they'll show A and it'll be like broad daylight, I start laughing. I don't know why, because I just picture if it really, like, you just see this scary thing like standing there, and someone put on Facebook, it has to be two people, because A, he cannot, or he or she or whatever, cannot text with those gloves on. I'm done. It's
that's so funny. I love that.
Yeah, and
I mean, and imagine, so all that was
happening
while we were
I'm sure. And then I know
the cast
because I know too the cast. I don't know about all the cast, but I know some of the cast watched the Pretty Little Liars, the original, and we're all into that too. So I'm sure everybody's like,
Yeah.
I mean, the principal has been named as A, like one of the moms. I mean, it's been, now of course they're trying to go into more like, well, somebody from Angela's family. Also, this is side note, there was a person on Twitter who called themselves Angela Waters. Like, this was back when this first came on. I have no idea if and they're not from the show. And I guess they got banned from Twitter. They were threatening the cast members and stuff. I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wait, somebody went as far as to pretend that they were Angela Waters.
I guess so. Like, that's what I got from. I'm on like.
People are
so weird. Wow, crazy. I know. I'm like, it's a show.
Wow, that's taking it really
creepy.
Far.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is what I heard through. I had actually seen. I'm on Twitter, but I don't do a lot on Twitter. I'm whatever.
Twitter's just too much.
So I saw that there was a person.
If I think Instagram's hard to keep.
That's right. So I saw someone. Well, someone had tweeted. They went to like the different locations and took pictures, and I was like, oh my gosh, because like, especially the places in sororities. Like, I got married at St. Mary's Church. I had my child's baptism was there. Like, it was just cool to see that. And obviously the Orpheum is cool. But they also they had a picture in front of the school. And someone had asked Angela Waters, this person who called themselves Angela Waters, was like, where is this church? And I was like, it's in sororities. I mean, hopefully that person didn't do anything weird. I don't know where they were. But I had actually replied to that person. And then days later, I don't even know, a couple weeks later, maybe, because since I'm an admin for the Facebook group, I'm on like an admin little Facebook Messenger group thing. And they were talking about it that this person calling themselves Angela Waters, like, got totally banned from Twitter. And they were posting also false information. They were saying that the series was canceled, and then apparently threatening, but again, this is through that group, that the person was threatening.
Well, I will tell you that, wow. Well, there was an account that ended up getting banned, an Instagram account that we actually, the crew, it took us a minute when we started to figure out that this wasn't the official page, to be honest. We all thought they were. And so there were things being posted that certainly, I mean, because when you start, you send
Yeah.
was it
Yeah.
NDA, a
Mm-hmm.
contract saying you won't say
Right.
anything or post
Right.
anything. So anything we posted, if you did, was vague. And you know, you can't post the girls in, you know, the
Right.
wardrobe or
Right.
makeup or anything. You just did. So, but these things, these behind the scenes that were really, you know, so we were trying to figure out who that person was or
Wow.
people. And then they ended up getting banned and starting another one. But there were a lot of accounts. Like I saw myself on a
Oh boy.
few and getting stuff, and they would quickly steal the girls, their post stories. They would post them, and then they would post wrong
Ooh,
things like, oh, the set was flooded. And it wasn't even our set.
really?
It was like a set. I don't even know it was not our set. It was like a totally different set. So yeah, there were definitely people trying to figure it out. And I think that that's also quite amazing. My friend was just saying, who also worked on it, how these people will go to lengths to try to spoil it and figure it
So
out. And I'm like,
weird.
let it go. I understand making some choices, but don't try to ruin
Yeah.
it for everybody and try to, you
Yeah.
know, leak it. You know, it was the same with Game of Thrones. People always trying to ruin it for
Yeah.
others. Just like, let it go. But yeah, no, and so we all quickly learned because we were tagging the
Right.
crew, you know, this account
Oh
thinking it
my
was the
gosh.
official account. And because there wasn't an official account until they took over the Pretty Little Liars
Okay.
account, basically,
Yeah.
essentially. That's
Oh,
when
okay.
it became official. But it was this account posting these behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
things like maps and all these things that we didn't know how
Oh
they got
my
their hands
gosh.
on. So yeah,
Well,
people really trying to figure things out.
this is interesting. On the Facebook group, I had posted because there was a picture of Tabby underneath the sign that said Ezra's Books, and I knew it was Uptown Kingston. You could tell, and I think it was Rough Draft.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think it said something underneath. I got it. I literally screenshot off Instagram and I don't remember what was my point of posting it, but I posted it in the Facebook group. And I said, I think I said something like, I'm pretty sure this is Uptown Kingston. And then actually my co-host was like, I think it's Rough Draft. And then this guy like replied and said, oh, Rosewood is going to look a little different because of he mentioned like the Warner Brothers studio, that he was there and they filmed in the Warner Brothers studio. And I was like, no. So I was like, come on. So I replied and I was like, I'm just curious. I said, oh, he said something about Warner Brothers studio. I said, I'm pretty sure this is Kingston, New York. And he was like, oh, well, that's better. Something like it's better than the Warner Brothers studio was so hot or something, like made some kind of thing. And I said, I'm just so curious. Are you talking about like Warner Brothers in LA? Because I thought my understanding is the whole show was filmed in New York State or something. And this person never replied. And then I went to because I can look at his profile, but I could also look at his activity in the group. He left the group. He left the Facebook group like that day. I don't know. Like I don't know if it's because I kind of called him out, but it wasn't like he said anything too damaging, but it's like, are you pretending you like worked on this? Like, what is wrong? I don't know. People are so weird.
It is, you know,
oh my
being
gosh.
a person that, you know, internet and social media, it's just like, it just allows everybody. And, you know, these comments are half the fun, I know, but also it's like, it's alarming, you know, people who get so into it and also just blatantly lying. And the same thing with that picture. Where did that come from? That was this flood that didn't happen, or this person claiming that, you know, they shot in Warner Brothers.
No, I know. Like,
I mean, there's a chance, if anything, maybe a promo was shot there. After we were wrapped.
He referenced it like this was Rosewood, you know, being filmed in the Warner when they went to Rosewood.
Oh, yeah. Right. That's like, right. Yeah. So no. Everything was shot.
Right. I'm like,
and it's just so
silly.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. No, you definitely have to invite me to this because I would love to see what people are saying.
I will tell you, I told you before we recorded, there are people who are saying they were extras and are claiming there's a season 2, like giving us information that even if it's true, I'm sure they're not supposed to say this stuff. So I was like, that's upsetting. Yeah. Come on. So, all right. I think think that's all my
Amazing.
questions. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Well, just that it was, although it was a very long 9 months of shooting, but it was really a joy and a pleasure and a really great group. And it was fun to not know what was
That's
going to
awesome.
happen and to figure it out with the rest of the cast. And the cast was lovely. They are just so sweet.
That's
Everybody, every
awesome.
single one of them. Everybody's wonderful. And it's a big cast, and everybody was great. And I can't imagine there won't be a second season, and I just would love to be on it.
All right.
And it was, but this is fun.
Thanks.
I love the name, everything.
I'm so happy you could do this. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day off.
Yeah, it was fun talking about it. I mean, people are so bored with me talking about it. So it was nice to be able to talk, actually legitimately be asked questions about it.
And I'm sure there's going to be questions that pop into my head after we end. And also there's still 3 episodes
Feel
left.
free,
I will.
I know. I can't believe that. I didn't know they were going to release it that quickly, but I'm glad. I mean, that's good. I guess they need to be able to decide what you're doing.
I was going to say, they releasing it like the first day. I was like, all right, it's premiering. We're trying to do a podcast about it, and realistic. So they released the first 3. I'm like, I should have known that.
Yeah.
So we're so behind. We just recorded.
I didn't expect it.
Oh, especially with
And then thereafter too, I'm assuming they're going to probably release the last episode.
From what I heard, supposedly it's this week is the last 3.
Right. Yeah, I'm not.
They're going to do 8, 9, and 10. All on the same.
Wow. Yeah. That was quick.
I was like,
that was quick.
A lot of HBO shows have been kind of doing that.
HBO Max shows, the HBO shows, like for the actual, they're the ones that'll, like The Staircase, that's every week. But the HBO Max, I had heard the rumor and I didn't think, but it didn't make sense to me. It's one of those shows, although being an hour drama, I thought they would, I didn't think they would drop like 3 and
but 3, 2, and then 3. I thought they would start to like space them out. Because I know like The Staircase, they did release the first 3, then they went week to week, and then just like
oh, they did. Okay, so I'm totally that was HBO Max then.
Yeah, because we talked about that.
And
just like that, when they did and just like that, they did they released the first 2, then they went one by one. I think it was after that. But
that's right.
The Gilded Age also.
Well, HBO has realized, okay. Then they've realized that people really do want to watch. They want to sit down and binge. And that's, so they have to give it to them because people, so, well, that was really fun. Thank you for
You're welcome.
Inviting me.
Thanks for coming on. And I guess that's a wrap of the episode.
Yeah, and if you have any questions for future episodes, feel free to text.
All right.
Any questions? Yeah, and invite me to the group.
I will as soon as I
to see what everybody's saying.
Bye.